how to solve the LEETCODE question 207 course schedule. If you have watched my other video about the course schedule, number 2 is basically course schedule number 2, this one, question 210. And if you watched that one, this one is really similar to that one. So I'm just basically gonna show you using the same method to solve this question. But then if you want to know all the details about this, and feel free to watch the course schedule too as well. So take a total of number of courses that you have take, number of courses equals 2, and it labeled from 0 to number of courses minus 1 you're giving, or any array of prerequisites where prerequisites I equals to AIBI indicates that you must take course B first if you want to take course A. So basically the same thing. If you want to take 0, you must take 1 in this case. And for return true if you can finish all the courses, otherwise return false. So you have to take 2 courses, right, in this example, and then you must take 0 and then take 1, and of course the result is 1 because you can take both courses in this situation. And then the second example is that it gives you 2 prerequisites, and let me show you. And if you look at it, is in order to finish 0 course, in order to finish the course 1, you must take 0. And then in order to finish the course 0, you must take course 1. So it's like I mentioned in the course schedule 2 question, it's basically a cycle in this case. In order to take both courses, you can kind of go into this vicious cycle that you can break out from, that you're not going to be able to take both courses because each other is both of them are each other's prerequisites. So it's totally detecting a circle in the graph. You want to return the false in this case. And here are some constraints here. And then you can take a look, and Amazon asked the question 26 times in the last 6 months, and there is some other company asked this question as well. This is a typical DFS search problem, and the idea is that you want to write the prerequisites to a graph and run DFS search on it and run through each neighbor, and you want to make sure to use an array to store the value of the each courses. Like you want to start for example, course 0 and 1, you want to start all their value as this is a visit. Let's say we use a visit array, and you set both of them to 0 at the beginning. And for example, let's use the first prerequisites. And in order to take 1, you must take 0 first. If I write it to the graph, is that the course and the prerequisites, right? And after I write to the graph, is that the 0, does it have a prerequisites? It doesn't. So we put an empty array here, and 1, it has a prerequisites as 0 in this case. And then you want to run DFS search on the course itself, and then continue to run the DFS search on 0's neighbor, which when you run DFS search on 0, you have to run DFS search on this one, right? And then when you initially visit it and you want to set each number, when you run DFS search on this node, you want to set the number to -1. You don't have to set it to -1, but -1 is just a way that I use it, set it to -1. But then I want to continue to run DFS search on 0's neighbor in this case. If I cannot if this DFS search return false, then I'm gonna return false. Stop this right here. Otherwise, after I run the DFS search on the neighbor, if it passed, that if the prerequisites DFS search is true, I'm gonna set this value to 1. And the difference between this one and the course schedule 2 is that they are not asking you the sequence to take this course. You only need to return true or false. So it's pretty straightforward. That's the thought process. I'm gonna show you how to do this in code. So I'm gonna write this graph first, and I'm gonna do collections default dect. That's what I'm using, and it's default dect and list here, and then for courses and the prerequisites in prerequisites. Want to make sure I spell it correctly. And so for the graphs courses, I want to make sure to append every single prerequisites to the graph, to the courses. Basically, after I write this, it will look like this. I want to write the append the prerequisites 0 to the course 1 in this case after I write it. So since you only need to return true or false, your depth search function should only return true or false, and I'm still using a visit set and not a visit set, sorry. I'm still using array for setting the numbers when I'm visiting each course and its neighbor. So 0 for I in range and number of courses. So then I'm gonna write the depth search function. That's the main part. And the base condition is that if, remember I said that if I set it to 0, it means that I'm visiting this course. And then if the course, when I visit the course, and then if after I visit the course, if it can't reach or if there's a cycle, then I'm gonna set it to -1. So if visit course, that means it's 0 is 1's prerequisites, 1 is 0's prerequisites. So I wanted to say if visit course equals -1 in this case, I'm gonna return false because there's a cycle there. If visit course equals to 1, like when I'm just visiting the course, that means it's visited, and if it's visited, I will just return true, right? Since I'm visiting it. Otherwise, I'm gonna set the course to -1, basically meaning that I'm just set it to -1 in this case. I'm starting visit it, and then I'm gonna go through each course's neighbor. So for pre in graph courses, for each course's neighbor, I'm gonna run depth search on the pre, right? And if not depth search pre, that means that if the depth search for the prerequisites returns false, then I'm gonna return false in this case, right? Otherwise, I'm gonna set the visit. Originally they all 0, right? I'm gonna set the visit. After I visit it, I'm gonna set to the visit to 1. That means that I finished visit this course. And then I don't need to update the result or anything. In the end, I just need to return true for this case. And then this is the main part of the depth search function. Now I'm gonna call the depth search function for courses in range number of courses. If not depth search, basically the same thing, I'm calling it for the courses in this case. If it's false, right, I'm gonna return, I'm actually gonna return false in this case, because if the depth search is false, I'm gonna return false. Otherwise, I'm gonna return true in this case. Let's see, it should be right. And let me refresh the page here and let me run it again. Okay, it's actually It was actually some of the internet issue on my side, and I just fixed my network here, so it accepted. And okay, it looks good. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope this is helpful. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye.